Hi everyone, Derek Hooper here, Australian PGA professional and golf coach. I want to thank you for joining me today for our next lesson in our Better Putting Blueprint series. So far we've talked a lot about pre-swing fundamentals, putter face, putter path, and we've been doing a lot of work on straight putts. The reality is that when you're on the golf course, very few putts are straight. So we need to start introducing some other skills which are going to allow you to transfer those skills you've done before out onto the golf course. Now the reality is that every single putt that you set up to, in terms of what you do over the golf ball, is a straight putt. We don't change our mechanics just purely because the ball curves across the green. What we're going to do today though is we're going to talk about, well, how do we determine how much curvature there is on the green or how much break is there? We're going to talk about how to read that into your putts, how to determine where to aim the putter, the routine that I like to see players go through so they get better at learning to read the greens, so that you can start to transfer those skills that you had on straight putts into curved putts, and you can start to make some breaking putts out on the golf course as well. So here we are on the putting green. I've got a putt that's about 24 feet long, and this is the putt we're going to use for our green reading exercise today. I want to run through a couple of different things with regards to this, but basically we're going to identify how does this ball break across the green. Obviously it's going to break from its high point to a lower point, and we're going to talk about how do we identify that on the green, give you some basic skills that you can work on, and then show you some drills that you can refine to do a better job with that. So the first thing we need to do is I need to get my eyes down as close to green level as I can, because it's much easier for me to see where the high and low points are if I do that. So I'm going to walk down the target line and have a look at it from behind, and I'm going to meet you over there so we can share the view from there together. So I've walked back behind the ball and I've got my eyes down as close to green level as I can, because it's much easier for me to see the slopes on the green. Now the thing we want to keep in mind here as we're looking at the putt is that when the golf course designer designs a green, they have to design it so that water will run off the green. So there's always going to be a high point and a low point on the green, because if there wasn't, the water would pool on the green every time it rains and the golf course wouldn't be playable. So the first thing we want to identify when we're sitting here looking down the line of the putt is where is the highest edge of the green and where is the lowest edge of the green. So we're going to walk out on the green here, and on this particular green, what you'll notice is over here at this edge here, this is the highest edge on this green. And then as I look around the green and I try to figure out where's the lowest edge, if I look over here in this back corner, I know that that's the lowest edge on this green here as well. Now the reason why this is our high point and that's our low point is because the whole terrain here is this putting green is cut into a hill almost. So there's a hill up here on my left as I'm looking, and then in the tree line that's on the other side of the green behind me, there's actually a small creek that runs through there, and then it runs down the hill in this direction. So what the designer's done is they're trying to make sure that the water flow off this green matches the natural water flow of the terrain around the green. So if we can get the water to flow off the green and into that creek down there, this green will drain much quicker when it rains. It's going to be much quicker for us to get back on the green and make it playable again. Now we know for a fact that water always runs downhill, so that means that gravity's working that direction and the ball's always going to roll downhill as well. A lot of people think that there's a lot of mystery to green reading. The reality is the ball's always going downhill. If you think it went uphill, it's because you missed where the slope was, rather than the ball is actually rolling uphill. Once we've identified our high point and low point, we know that this overall green is going, in this case here, is going to break from right to left. So that means that when I'm scanning the putt that I'm going to hit here, if it's going to break more than that, or if it's going to break, if I see it going the other way, then something really funky must be going on and maybe I need to have a closer look at it. So my next objective is I'm going to walk back here behind the ball again. I want to get my eyes down as close to green level, and I'm going to be back down here. I'm now looking at more of the putt that I'm going to hit and less of this stuff out nice and wide. So when I'm looking down the line, I'm not looking at exactly the line on which I want to putt. What I'm actually doing is I'm choosing a point that's 2 feet to the right and 2 feet to the left, and I'm asking myself which is higher and which is lower. Then I'm going a little further along the putt and I go 2 feet right, 2 feet left again, and I'm checking which is higher, which is lower. And I'm going to do that across the whole length of this putt to help me to determine how much break there's going to be. Now for the sake of this exercise, once I've made the determination of how much break there is, I know that for this putt here, when I'm looking at it, I know it's a little difficult to see on the camera, but the green on the right side of the hole is definitely a little higher than the green on the left. So this putt's I see this putt breaking from right to left. So for our green reading training exercise today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tee, I'm going to place it out next to the hole, the amount to the right that I believe this putt is going to break. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my alignment rod that I have here, and I'm going to place it on the ground so that I've got the ball lined up to hit the ball at that tee. I'm going to take a break while I line this up and we'll come back and have a look at it together. So I've got the rod set up on the ground parallel to the line on which the ball needs to start for the ball to start at that tee and go in the hole. So that means that if I now go through my routine and I start the ball on that line, if I've read the green correctly, this ball should go in the hole. Now, there's another factor in this that we're going to need to talk about, that we can talk about in a future video, but distance control is part of it. We're going to talk about that in a future video. But just for a quick prelude for that upcoming video, our ideal holing speed would be, we want the ball to finish about 12 to 15 inches past the hole as an ideal speed. But for today's exercise, we're going to go through our pre-shot routine. I'm going to aim the putter first, make sure I've got it aimed parallel to that rod, left foot for ball position, right foot for stance width. One last look, go ahead, make the stroke. And you can see that ball turn to the left. Now the reason it missed at the moment is because I think I hit it too soft. I can't tell for sure if I've got the right line or not because I never got the ball to the hole. So I'm going to hit another putt. I'm going to try to hit this one a little bit firmer for us, see if we've got a better line. So what that's telling me is I thought that speed was pretty good. The ball finished about that 12 to 15 inches past the hole, but it still finished left of the hole as it went past. So what that's telling me at the moment is that I've misread the putt. I didn't put that tee far enough to the right, which means I didn't aim the putter far enough to the right. So what I would do for the sake of the exercise, because we're trying to learn how to read greens better, I'd pull this ball in. I now want to go back and kneel down behind it again like we did earlier. And what I'm looking at when I'm back here is I'm trying to figure out, why did I see the ball break as much as it does versus what I've got out there. So what I've done is I've looked at that slope and determined that it broke 7 inches, whereas it looks like it probably breaks closer to 10. So what I'm trying to determine when I'm back here is, well, that slope was actually what a 10-inch break on this length putt looks like. I'd go back, I'd move that tee a little more to the right, realign my rod, and then go ahead and hit the putt again and see if I did a little better on that read. Because the thing that we want to take away from this is that every time you miss a putt, it's an opportunity to learn something. So in this case, the thing that we would take away from our learning experience is that I misread the putt, this breaks more than what I thought, I need to come back and have another look at it and start to build up some memories of, well, that slope is what's going to produce that much break on this length putt. Now the way to continue to get better at it is, I would then go to a different hole on the green, I'd go through my same green reading exercise again, put the tee down, put the rod down, hit the putt, and after a while you'll start to get pretty good at being able to read the amount of slope on a green and be able to start the ball on the intended line, because we've done that in our earlier lessons, and you'll be able to start to read greens a whole lot better. Then we can start moving into more variable practice, which is going to resemble what we do on the golf course. But before we can do that, we want to go through these sorts of exercises a little more often and get better at your green reading. So if you can get out on your local putting green at your golf course, go through the exercise we talked about here. Remember, we want to identify highest edge of the green, then lowest edge of the green, so we get the overall slope of the green. We then want to scan the putt 2 feet left, 2 feet right to again determine high and low points. Make a decision about where we're going to start the ball, set up, start the ball on that line, and then learn from what happened or what the outcome was from that putt. If you get away and work on those drills, you will improve your green reading. So before we finish up today, I just want to do a bonus video with you, or a bonus drill with you. So what I've done is I've got my slot trainer down here, remembering that the slot trainer is really helpful for getting us or giving us feedback about starting the ball on our intended line, and that's what this drill is all about. So from earlier, I moved that tee a little more to the right because we got the read wrong on that earlier one. I've now aimed the slot trainer so I can start the ball at that tee, and I'm going to know if I've started the ball on the correct line or not because the ball's going to get through the gate in front. Now, if I go through my routine and I'm able to get the ball to start on that line, we should see a little more success with this putt, I hope. So I didn't hit that one real solid. You can see I'm hitting that just a little too hard, but we've definitely got the line better because now the balls are finishing behind the hole. So the slot trainer is going to be an excellent training aid for you to work on starting the ball on the right line. It will help you confirm if you're getting your distance control, not your distance control, sorry, if you're getting your green reading correct, and we'll do distance control on a future video. Thank you for joining me today for today's lesson in our Better Putting Blueprint series. If you can get away and work on the drills that we spoke about today, I'm sure they're going to have a huge effect on your ability to read greens correctly. Keep in mind that if you'd like a copy of any of the drills that we did today, they'll be in the attachments along with this video, as will links to the training aids that we used in today's video also. If you've got any questions or you'd just like to share your progress with me, please feel free to post any comments or questions you have along with this video. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm always happy to answer any questions you may have. Until next time, keep up the good work, keep practicing, and I look forward to seeing you for our next lesson.